Presidente, I have something for you to sign. And no, it's not my raise again. Presidente, did you pay attention in your volcano activity classes? Congratulations, Presidente. You have won the elections. People are content that no incidents occurred during the elections. You have their trust and all the credibility of our young democracy. Congratulations, Presidente. You have won the elections. However, people are angry because of rumors of fraud and will not trust in the elections as they once did. Presidente, have I told you about your special gift of being able to control the flow of time itself? Disaster, Presidente! Our only true friends, the loyalists, are showing signs of doubt in your leadership. Presidente, people are complaining that your cousin, Smelly Mendoza, is no longer doing a good job of representing the nation in front of the foreign powers, and that our foreign politics program could benefit from some professional diplomats. Presidente, several foreign gunships were spotted circling our waters. Our relations with the foreign powers are getting worse, while our estúpido diplomats are sitting idle and playing cards all day. Our relations with the foreign powers are getting worse, while our estúpido diplomats are sitting idle and playing cards all day. A petition has arrived at the palace, insisting for a museum dedicated to your youth to be constructed immediately. I personally signed it 300 times, and counting. Good day, Presidente. You are our undisputed leader. It is time everyone on this island understood that. Presidente, the preliminary election forecasts indicate strong support for your opponent. In order to tip the scales in your favor, you should consider issuing a tax cut edict to gain the respect of the people. Presidente, the preliminary election forecasts indicate strong support for your opponent. In order to tip the scales in your favor, you might try to win the support of the faction leaders with a bribe. Those environmentalists are running away, frightened like the chickens they really are. Let them fear the might and power of our country and leader. Good news, my Presidente! The loyalists have regained their faith in you. Good news, Presidente! It's not lupus! Presidente, a hurricane is coming this way. We should hide underground. Presidente, it is the will of the people that you take some rest from the hard work of the recent years of governing. Those Tropicans are ignorant fools who will soon learn to regret their decision to turn their back on the glorious leader you are. Presidente, our sources indicate that not a single faction in Tropico despises you enough to make trouble. These superpowers can be quite demanding of their allies. Frankly, Presidente, they get on my nerves. Great concern has seized me as I watch how the rest of Tropico more urgently demands elections with each month. It is obvious that you should rule us all, and holding elections is like asking your dogs whether they like their master. I've got some good news, and I've got some bad news, my Presidente. Presidente, there are some rumors about violent opposition against your regime. Presidente, it is an earthquake. Good thing the palace is sturdier than most buildings on our island. Presidente, have you heard of the new exploits of our Minister of the Interior? Presidente, something terrible has happened. There is a white flag-like object flying above the Council of Ministers. Presidente, everyone likes meat, right? Let's send some spiced ham to each and every person in the world. He never receives spam. Ever. He cares about the world, and the world cares about him. He is El Prez, the most awesome person in the world. Ay caramba, now I know why Santana was against this free speech nonsense. Some vocal members of the resistance are trying to sway voters against you, Presidente. It will not look good if they disappear, and in light of the coming elections, I suggest we simply buy them off. Excellent job on the elections, Presidente. Most of the population is on our side now. Let's build some luxury housing and win over the rest of them. Now that we've dealt with Santana, all that remains is to take care of the last supporters of the old regime. A billionaire took an interest in our little island, Presidente. CEO Keith Preston. This man is the Caribbean business. Oh no, Presidente, what are we going to do? Oh no, that crappy, cheap Chinese drill exploded and triggered a new earthquake, even more powerful than the last one. Good news, Presidente. Our scientists repaired and improved the Chinese drill, and although they look exhausted from the intellectual labor, they guarantee the drill will now work as intended. Seems we got all the money that we could from the miners' situation, Presidente. Hunger is a powerful motivator, Presidente. While we were busy dealing with the uprising, the miners somehow managed to rescue themselves. The miners are safe, even if a little pale after all this time underground, thus proving that if a man can survive El Presidente, he can survive anything. Remember the smuggler's stash, Presidente? Presidente, the USSR has invaded a prominent country in the Middle East. The world is divided in its opinions on the matter. Presidente, relations between the USSR and China have soured. Both countries are arguing which form of communism is better. They are looking for allies, and we need to respond. Presidente, a famous Russian dissident was poisoned and died. European media are blaming the KGB, while the USSR denies any involvement. Terrible news, Presidente. One of your citizens is openly criticizing you. This outrage must not go on. Such people belong behind bars. Presidente, the recruitment program, Join Tropico's Workforce and Get a Free Cookie, devised by our Minister of Education, has been a smashing success. Presidente, our Minister of Education was asked to become a guest star on the popular science show Caribbean Legends Buster. Presidente, the question of the status of Taiwan has come up again. I don't even know where Taiwan is, but we have to state our position on this issue. Psst, Presidente, I heard a rumor about a treasure hidden somewhere on our island. Malicious journalists are spreading lies about St. Clara in the foreign press, Presidente. Presidente, your Minister of the Interior was literally caught stealing candy from a baby. Presidente, rumors have been going around the island that St. Clara has been named the most serious place on earth. And not in a good way. Presidente, the environmentalists are starting eco-protests. May I suggest some repressive action in good old Tropican tradition? After issuing a long speech on the improving crime safety in Tropico, which bored most of the people attending to death, our Minister of the Interior was robbed blind on the way back to his house. The traitorous army has decided to end your rule. I always knew giving weapons to a bunch of men in uniforms was a bad idea. Here is your proof. Presidente, look out! You're underprotected. My dear Presidente, the election day draws near. Presidente, you have to win the elections. The earthquake is over, Presidente. I am happy to report that most of the structures on the island are still standing. Presidente, the secret operation carried out by our Minister of Defense was successful. Presidente, the population of St. Clara has been increasing steadily. It's time to consider building more food producers. My Presidente, the people are now openly talking about uprising and violent change of the government. They have forgotten that you gave them their freedom. However, they have not forgotten how to throw stones and use sticks. Presidente, the intellectuals are saying that our Minister of Education has no academic merits whatsoever. Thanks to your success on Isla de Haro, Presidente, the mines there are operating at peak production. He is Tropico's biggest attraction. Literally. He is worth more than his golden statue. He is El Prez, the most awesome person in the world. Presidente, it seems that we have an imbecile for Minister of Foreign Affairs. During a recent interview, he stated that Europe was one of his favorite U.S. states. Presidente, something extraordinary happened. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs has managed to solve the practically unsolvable New York Times crossword puzzle. Presidente, Europe has taken serious antitrust measures against several American companies. The U.S. has responded by setting duty fares for European commodities. Presidente, it seems that some of the rebels have fled with terror from the island after seeing a horrible beast, which they think is La Chupacabra himself. Presidente, there was a clash in the Third World between armed forces supporting the U.S. and the USSR. What should we do? Carpe the diem, Presidente. We need to take the cult of your personality to the next level. Good job, Presidente. Our escort forces are ready to go. Presidente, our Minister of the Interior has gone mad after watching a 24-hour non-stop action movie marathon starring the famous Caribbean actor Rodrigo Norris. Presidente, I have just spotted an angry mob heading toward the palace with clubs, stones, and Molotov cocktails. No, not mojito, but Molotov. Presidente, Tropicans await elections next year. They wish to show their everlasting love and respect for you. They may have used different words, but that does not matter. The hurricane is over, Presidente. Let us evaluate the damage. The people have spoken, Presidente. With crude clubs and stones, they are voting against you. Intelligence reports that subversive elements might be taking violent actions against our government. You should consider establishing a secret police to prevent or at least minimize such activities. Our secret agents deserve a raise, Presidente. The International Health Organization got bored of tracking the llama flu victims, and they have lifted the restrictions on our island. What work do these ministers do anyway, Presidente? I agree. Let's fire them. Code red for hurricane danger. Do not feel bad, Presidente. You did not need to go to Nick Richards' lame party anyway. Presidente, our Minister of Defense went too far in his artistic endeavors. Congratulations, my Presidente. Your wise political juggling defended liberty on Tropico. Viva! Presidente? There has been a huge revolution in several Middle Eastern countries. Several leaders supported by the U.S. are likely to be replaced soon. However, the revolutions are led by what some call extremists. Presidente, our Minister of Education was asked to become a guest star on the popular science show Caribbean Legends Buster. I'm not feeling well, Presidente. There's some kind of a bug going around the island. Presidente, to make Caralibro the best tourist resort, we need a large number of hotels and attractions. Presidente, we need a symbol to demonstrate your greatness. I'm thinking of a giant golden statue of you. Presidente, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that this island, Puerto Gato, is now completely under our control. Presidente, there was an accident involving Generalissimo Santana while he was riding the roller coaster. We found Santana's stash, Presidente. There it is, in the ruins of the ranch. The secret police have discovered a plot to abduct a tourist couple and thus discredit both you, Presidente, and our tourism industry. Presidente, China is going to execute a famous journalist who is in opposition to the party. European media are in an uproar, Presidente. Several European countries are going to ban the public showing of Islamic religious symbols. The Middle East and the rest of the Islamic world are outraged. Most glorious Presidente, everything about you should be grand, including your palace. 2 foreign tourists have been abducted and are being held hostage. We have already lost tourism ratings because of the incident. Underrepresentation, Presidente! You are not on the minds of your citizens at all times! Presidente, our Minister of Foreign Affairs has caused a diplomatic incident by using a fork during the official sushi party organized by the Japanese ambassador. Presidente, China has requested that several countries from the Middle East increase their oil production quota. Their request has been denied, and there is much diplomatic tension. Presidente, our Minister of Education has gone out of his mind. He is running through town shouting that students in Tropico are imbeciles who cannot even solve a simple differential equation. Presidente, the recent rock concert organized by your Minister of Foreign Affairs was a smashing success. Presidente, our Minister of Economics has locked himself in one of our factories and refuses to come out. Presidente, the people are calming down, realizing how much they will anger you if they try anything stupid. Presidente, it seems that after years of collecting the Dictator Life monthly magazine, our prudent Minister of Economics has accumulated a huge number of coupons. Presidente, our courageous supporters, inspired by you, of course, have protected your palace and your mandate. Presidente, recently, our Minister of Economics was seen walking the streets in only his underwear after losing everything in an unfortunate game of poker. Presidente, our Minister of Economics has managed to sell a shipment of refrigerators to an Eskimo settlement at the North Pole. Presidente, you may not like it, but people want to see your face more often. Green power is here. A new turbine has been built on the island. By popular demand, it rotates against the wind. Well done, Presidente. The farms are ready and will soon begin growing food for your citizens. Welcome, Presidente. It is me, Penultimo, your most trustworthy advisor. Presidente, you have one final year of your mandate. Presidente, you have ruled Tropico for quite a long time. You have 5 more years to remain in power. Use them wisely. Terrible news, Presidente. Isla de Haro has been hit by another earthquake. Presidente, we might be in a bit of trouble. There was an error in the calculations of one of our engineers. Presidente, it seems that our friend Nick Richards has decided to play dirty and use his influence as President of the USA to exert pressure on Tropico. Eureka, Presidente! I have found a way that we can avoid the US nuclear missile. Presidente, it is time to transport the incriminating tape from the USSR to Tropico. I can't stop thinking about Generalissimo Santana's stash, Presidente. It can't be located too far from the palace, right? I doubt it will be trivial to rebuild the power plant Santana destroyed, but we have to power up the non-operational buildings eventually. Consider using wind turbines or saving them for a new power plant. We received a crumpled note written in very bad English, Presidente. We set you up the bomb. All your building are belong to us. What you say? Great jumping llamas, Presidente! Your life is in danger! Thank the heavens, my Presidente! For a moment, I thought that assassin got you. I knew all media was dangerous, Presidente. Your enemies plan to use it against you. Calamity, Presidente! Propaganda that is not ours! Somebody has been turning your own people against you, Presidente. Some of our workers are on strike. I say we strike them back. Presidente, this place is much prettier than the last 2 islands we were on. It's perfect for a tourist trap. Resort. Presidente, they tell me that there are different kinds of tourists. To me, they all look the same. But I'm not the one to judge. Excellent work, Presidente. Now the tourists have attractions to keep them entertained and happy. I don't trust these eco-tourists, Presidente. All they do is go around our island and take pictures of trees, flowers, and military installations. Spring break tourists have one thing on their mind. No, not that. I like the wealthy tourists, Presidente. They have a lot of money to spend on our island. Presidente, as we all know, fame is measured by the number of twits that follow your every move. Presidente, you have some very powerful friends. Why don't you invite them for a visit? Presidente, as your advisor and chief publicist, I've come up with a brilliant marketing scheme. Presidente, I just learned that the so-called Museum of Modern Art is actually the private collection of paintings stolen by Generalissimo Santana. Let's demolish the building and sell the paintings abroad. The stars line up to dance with him. Celebrities ask for his autograph. He is El Prez, the most awesome person in the world. Presidente, the best way to become famous is to mingle with celebrities. He is capital punishment personified. He neither serves nor protects. But you would still be safe around him. He is El Prez, the most awesome person in the world. Presidente, if left unchecked, crime can become a serious problem, both for your citizens and for the tourists who visit our island. He can stop global warming, but he likes it hot. He is not an environmentalist. He is an earth warrior. He is El Prez, the most awesome person in the world. The beautiful flower of nature, Miss Sunnyflowers, tells me that the environment is very important. I listen to her because she is important. We are in big trouble. Our USSR friend Agent Sasha just told me that their early warning systems have detected a nuclear missile launched from the US, which is now traveling towards Tropico. Supporters of the old regime are organizing an underground resistance against you. Once you deal with them or convert them to our side, the island will be ours for good. Presidente, one of your eager supporters, has a compromising photo of Senator Richards in our cabaret. Thank God for the new doctor. He knows how to cure the dust disease with rum. The miners have been complaining about some kind of dust disease they caught underground. Presidente, we need a doctor on the island. Thank God we have a doctor on the island. It appears that our new island has a small crime problem, Presidente. Actually make that a huge crime problem. Good job, Presidente. Time to start putting those criminals where they belong. Behind bars. A bomb destroyed our police station, Presidente. This was clearly an inside job. Turns out catching common criminals on the streets does not solve our problems. We have to get to their bosses, the dons of the mafia. One of our agents has infiltrated the mafia. He needs to grease some palms in order to discover the real identity of the man known only as Don Emilio, the Don responsible for all racketeering on the island. We got him, Presidente. Turns out the great Don Emilio has been pretending to be an ordinary Tropican all this time. Damn, the mafia got our man. It looks like he spilled the beans because our other agents have also disappeared. We got lucky, Presidente. We discovered the identity of Donabella, the main contact linking the Tropican mafia with the powerful Italian families. Turns out we haven't gotten all the Dons yet, Presidente. The recent fires were started by the mafia. I am certain of it. At last we have him, Presidente. A mysterious man known only as Don Moriarty has been pulling the strings of the crime syndicates on our island from the very beginning. Presidente, someone drugged your palace guards and left a note for you. Here it is. Rumors are circulating that you took a bribe from the mafia, Presidente. I tried to explain that we found the money in the garden, but nobody wants to believe me. We discovered a cache of contraband goods in a cave near the shore, Presidente. We received a threatening letter, Presidente. I arranged for a letter to be discreetly sent to your Yankee contact Nick Richards, the new president of the USA. Maybe he will be willing to listen to reason and believe that we did not arrange the murder of his predecessor. We received no reply from the Yankee Presidente. I suspect that we are being ignored on purpose. I arranged for another letter to be discreetly sent to your old partner Keith Preston, the billionaire tycoon. We received a reply from Keith Preston. It doesn't sound very reassuring. We have one final contact that we have not yet reached, Presidente. Santana, your mentor and fellow dictator. We received a reply from Santana. He was definitely in on a conspiracy against you. Presidente, you are amazing as ever. Presidente, the brightest minds of Tropico gathered to look for a solution to your problem. Presidente, the Childhood Museum is not enough to determine whether you have a twin brother or not. Presidente, the egghead professors have already started their experiments on your family genes. Presidente, you are unique. It's scientifically proven. Presidente, the intellectuals are saying that our Minister of Education has no academic merits whatsoever. The rebels have just overwhelmed our last defenses. The palace has been destroyed, and it is time to run, Presidente.